The former chairman of the QUAPAW tribe is indicted on charges including embezzlement. Leaders of a southwest Missouri county take action aimed at circumventing federal legislation on gun control.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
2 former QUAPAW Nation tribal leaders are indicted for embezzlement, conspiracy, and several other charges. This is KOAM News at 6. KOAM's Chris Warner joins us now with more.
Well, the QUAPAW Nation indicted former Chairman John Berry and former Secretary Treasurer Tamara Smiley Reeves, who are now facing a total of 18 indictments. Authorities say the offenses occurred between April of 2014 and July of 2020. Now, under the Tribal Criminal Code, the QUAPAW Tribal Court indicted John Berry for embezzlement, attempted embezzlement, 2 counts of conspiracy, 4 counts of abuse of office, offense by officers, improper gifts to tribal officials or employees, and theft of services. Tamara Smiley Reeves is facing 8 indictments, including embezzlement, attempted embezzlement, 2 counts of conspiracy, 2 counts of abuse of office, and 2 counts of offense by officers. The indictments come after the QUAPAW Nation Gaming Authority requested innovative gaming solutions to conduct an audit last year. They received allegations of improper bonuses paid to tribal leaders and casino executives. According to court documents, the audit was delayed due to the election and was continued afterwards. The court documents go on to say the auditors found salaries and bonuses in the millions without approval from the QUAPAW Business Committee. We reached out to the attorney for John Berry, who sent us this response saying they're aware of the criminal complaint and that, quote, Mr. Berry denies all of the complaint's allegations and he looks forward to clearing his name in court. The QUAPAW Nation Chairman Joseph Tolley Bird also issued this statement saying in part, quote, while I'm saddened at the depths of criminality discovered, the QUAPAW Nation is a nation of laws and no one is above them. I'm pleased charges have been filed against these individuals who will now face the consequences of their dishonesty and greed. We have all of the court documents and the full press release from the QUAPAW Nation on our website at KOAMNewsNow.com. Reporting live in Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Chris, thanks. We have colder weather ahead of us. Doug Hetty joins us now.
Yeah, big changes are going to be rolling in as we go through about the next 24 hours or so. In fact, winter weather advisory in effect, which is crazy this time of the year. We're in the second half of April. Really the northern half of the region from Fredonia, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Lamar, Lockwood, points north. And this is for snow that we are going to get by tomorrow morning. Definitely no snow outside right now. In fact, it feels fantastic. We have clear skies, but look at the rain, look at the snow building up to our north across Nebraska and then stretching back into the northern parts of the Rockies. But a cold front is sliding through. It's still 70 in Joplin. Wichita's down to 54, 50 in Kansas City. So that colder air starting to slide off toward the south. In fact, our northern counties already dropping into the 50s at this time. So through the evening hours, we're okay. But then we'll start to see rain and snow increasing to our north as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. So Dow, we got to watch out for the snow, but also on top of that, a hard freeze tomorrow night. So a lot to talk about here in a bit.
Could be a problem for the young vegetation for sure. Thanks, Doug. Newton County is now in the national spotlight for an ordinance the commission passed back in February. The website Defy Tyrants interviewed Newton County Commissioner David Osborne about the county's Second Amendment Preservation Act. That ordinance is intended to provide protection against all federal acts, laws, orders, rules, and regulations that infringe on Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms. The act also provides for the Newton County Sheriff's Office to arrest any federal agents trying to violate the ordinance.
We hope not to have to enforce it. Again, I wanted just to start the conversation with the ATF if they should get orders like that. Let's hope they don't get orders like that. Let's hope common sense prevails here, and we absolutely are able to have good conversations to say there's no need to violate Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens.
The Missouri House passed a similar act in February. It's currently in the Senate. Former Kansas Governor Jeff Collier has formally launched his campaign to reclaim the office in 2022. In his new bid for governor, Collier is portraying himself as the true conservative in the Republican primary. Collier narrowly lost the GOP primary in 2018 as governor to then Secretary of State Chris Kobach before Kobach lost to the Democrat Laura Kelly. Collier's launch in Topeka featured U.S. Senator Roger Marshall, who endorsed Collier. The ex-governor endorsed Marshall last year. Former Kansas City Chiefs tight end and longtime Missouri politician Fred Arbanis has died. Arbanis was a key member of the Chiefs' first two Super Bowl teams in the 1960s and 70s. The Jackson County Democratic Party, for which Arbanis was a major player for more than 4 decades, announced his death at the age of 82 in a brief statement. No cause was given. Arbanis is a member of the Chiefs Hall of Fame, was a 6-time All-AFL selection, and was picked to the all-time AFL team by the Pro Football Hall of Fame. After his playing career, Arbanis served more than 40 years in the Jackson County Legislature. Still ahead, a ceremony honoring the victims of the Oklahoma City bombing on the 26th anniversary of the attack. And U.S. Congressman from Kansas, Jake LaTurner, talks about his visit to our nation's southern border. Oklahoma City marks the somber 26th anniversary of the bombing of the Murrah Federal Building that killed 168 people. Merrick Garland, who supervised the investigation of the Oklahoma City bombing, was the keynote speaker at a special remembrance ceremony today. He's now serving as President Biden's Attorney General, but Garland back then oversaw the prosecution of Timothy McVeigh, who was later executed for the crime.
It is now 26 years since the bombing. And it is as surprising to me as it is to you that I am now the Attorney General of the United States. Although many years have passed, the terror perpetrated by people like Timothy McVeigh is still with us.
The memorial was built on the site where the federal building once stood. It was later razed and replaced by the memorial and a park with 168 chairs in memory of the victims of that domestic terror attack. Because of the pandemic, the 2021 event was by invitation only, and attendance was limited to family members, survivors, and first responders. Last week, U.S. Congressman Jake LaTurner from Kansas penned an op-ed addressing border security. The Republican called on the Biden administration to improve security after LaTurner visited the border in Texas. This morning on the KOAM Morning News, he spoke about the issue.
President Biden did on the day of his inauguration was halt border construction, the wall. I saw millions of dollars worth of equipment and materials sitting there rusting, waiting to be built. Congress, a bipartisan Congress, supported building sections of the wall that Joe Biden stopped. We have to start the construction. Talk to any Border Patrol agent along the southern border. They will tell you that walls work.
The Biden administration has vowed to address illegal border crossings by getting to the root causes of illegal immigration. You can see our full interview with LaTurner on the morning show page at KOAMnewsnow.com. Someone in the 4 states is $40,000 richer and might not even know it yet. A winning Mega Millions ticket was sold in southeast Kansas on April 16th. The winning numbers were 17, 27, 28, 50, 55, and a mega plier of 4. The winner matched 4 of those numbers and the mega ball for a $10,000 win, but because they chose the mega plier option, the prize multiplied to $40,000. Again, the winning numbers were 17, 27, 28, 50, 55, and a mega plier of 4. Later, we're going to meet an Arkansas police officer who's been protecting and serving his community longer than a lot of them have been alive.
Colder temperatures are working in, also a little bit of snow. We're going to look at that coming up. It's definitely turned out to be a pretty good Monday for us today. Temperature is fantastic, lower 70s for afternoon highs, quite a bit warmer than what we saw over the weekend as we kind of hung out mainly into the 50s, but you can see most of us are about 10 to 12 degrees warmer right now compared to this time last night, except our northern counties, and that's due to a cold front that has slipped in over the past couple hours. Even our northern counties still quite a bit warmer for us today. It's just dropping off as we speak. 67 in Nevada, down to 58 in Yates Center, 57 in Iola, and then everybody else, upper 60s to near 70, but that front is really draped from Independence, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Lamar. The winds are quickly switching around to the north, and that colder air is starting to sink in. You can see all the cold air across the northern plains. Not Arctic air, but cold, and definitely cold for this time of the year. 41 in Des Moines, 34 in Lincoln. Rapid City, South Dakota, sitting at 30 degrees. Pretty much clear skies. Looks good looking outside from the station. Sitting at 70, south winds at about 10. Humidity is bone dry at 29%. We're going to drop back through the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s. Later on tonight, most of us will drop back to the mid-30s for overnight lows. So winter weather advisory. This is due to snow, mainly the northern half of the region. Let's say from Parsons, Pittsburgh, Lamar points north. Areas south of that are still going to see snow, but temperatures a little bit warmer. Then tomorrow night, we have freeze warnings. We have frost warnings. This is actually a pretty big concern, as it's not just going to get near freezing. We're going to go well below freezing as we head into Wednesday morning. Clear skies, not much going on here, but you can see the clouds increasing to our north. The snow building across parts of Nebraska, still several hours away, but it will make it here by tomorrow morning, here in about 12 hours, as this system right up here, right across South Dakota, rotates in, kind of pulls in that colder Canadian air. So let's go through time. Clouds increase tonight. We drop back as that front works through. Let's go into the morning hours. Here's 7:30 in the morning. I think this leading edge is actually going to start as rain. So we'll see rain mixing with and then changing over to snow during the morning hours. But you can see this whole band shifts off toward the south and to the east. So here's 10:30. Most of us at this point in time seeing a wet snow mixed in with a little bit of rain. And then this band quickly works out. Here's 2 p.m. The snow in southwestern Missouri, and then it's gone. And then a little bit of sunshine by the time we head into the evening hours. And that's going to help our temperatures pop near 40 degrees, but it's going to be cold tomorrow. We should be into the 70s for this time of the year. Then tomorrow night, we clear out. Look at our temps, mid-20s. So super cold, which is going to be a big deal for the plants and trees that are budding. Snowfall, I don't think is going to be a huge deal on the plants and all, but could make some of the roads a little bit slushy. If we get some heavy pockets, we're going to get a quick 1-2 inches. It'll melt off just like that. But it is going to be a little white out there during the morning hours. So we got the freeze we got to watch, the snow we got to watch, and then right around the corner, severe weather returns by next week. Just not this week, which is good. 41 tomorrow, 54 Wednesday, 57 on Thursday. 60s return by the weekend, up to 80 a week from today.
I remember some late freezes in past years that really did a number on things like Japanese maples, things you cannot bring in.
Right.
And they're budding and leafing out already.
I have one of those in my yard. I always worry about them.
Yeah, well, it's only so much you can do, I guess. Thanks, Doc. Still ahead, Missouri authorities make an arrest in connection with an arson at a church, and we'll meet a 91-year-old Arkansas police officer who's been protecting and serving for 5 decades. A homeless man is charged with arson after a fire yesterday at the Cape Girardeau Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Prosecutors charged 45-year-old Christopher Pritchard with the enhanced hate crime of property damage in the first degree. He's also charged with arson in the second degree, burglary in the second degree, and felony stealing. Authorities say they charged Pritchard with a hate crime because he was, quote, knowingly motivated to do so by reason of a motive related to the religion of the people who worship at the Church of Latter-day Saints. According to court documents, a report was made to the sheriff's office on Friday that Pritchard had threatened to bash in the head of the church bishop with a brick and to, quote, burn the church down. A police officer in Arkansas has seen more on the job than most of the people he protects and serves have seen in their entire lives. And he is living proof that age is indeed just a number. Martin Savage has the story.
When Officer L.C. Buckshot Smith
how y'all doing?
Says he knows almost everyone in Camden, Arkansas,
Hey, Benny.
population 11,000,
Good to see y'all.
it's true.
All right.
At 91, he spent more time protecting and serving than many residents have been alive. 56 years.
You ever missed a day at work?
No. Not. Just take off.
For more than 4 decades, he was a deputy with the Ouachita County Sheriff's Department.
First time you retired, how long did that last?
30 days.
30 days.
So, in his 80s, he became a rookie cop on the Camden Police Department.
I love to meet peoples, help peoples, and do things for peoples.
Chief Boyd Woody is Buckshot's boss.
So my first year in law enforcement in the jail, and Mr. Smith was my supervisor. He was over the jail at that time.
So he was your boss?
He was my boss, yeah.
Officer Smith starts each day at 7 a.m.
But I check in 15 to 20 minutes ahead of time.
You're always early. Somehow I'm not surprised.
Patrolling neighborhoods, escorting school buses, investigations.
How many arrests have you made?
I've taken more people home than I arrested, took to jail.
So you try to come up with another way.
Role model, just maybe, Officer Smith's most important job, especially to younger officers.
Some of them come looking at policing as they saw it on TV, looking at policing as they see it in a big city. This is a community.
I tell them all, this badge and gun don't make no police officer. You got to respect folks. I want to be treated right, and I figure you want to be treated right.
Next month, Officer Smith will turn 92. The town's planning a parade.
Do you ever think you will retire?
When the good Lord says so.
Officer L.C. Buckshot Smith, serving beyond the call, because serving is his calling. And just about everyone in town knows it.
All right. Yeah.
Our thanks to Officer Smith. A final check on the weather is next. Take time now to honor a local veteran, Private First Class Gary Peischel Jr., served in the U.S. Army during Operation Iraqi Freedom. His hometown, Carthage, Missouri. And we are proud to salute Private First Class Gary Peischel Jr. He's tonight's four-state hero. Jordan Abbey joins us now with a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, spring is in the air, snow is in the forecast. We're going to hear from the experts on way to protect those outside plants. Also, closing arguments were made today in the trial of Derek Chauvin. Plus, CVS planning on selling at-home COVID-19 rapid testing kits. That and much more coming your way tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Thanks, Jordan. A little helicopter has just completed its first big mission. NASA's Ingenuity helicopter successfully lifted off from the surface and then returned to the surface of Mars today. It is the first aircraft to achieve powered flight on another planet. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory was in mission control to receive and analyze data from that attempt. Ingenuity flew to Mars aboard the Perseverance rover in February. Together, they're exploring Jezero Crater in search of signs of ancient life. A remote control helicopter from that distance, and the trick is, of course, it's a very thin atmosphere.
Yeah.
So getting that lift is not easy.
It's crazy.
Yes, it is.
Pretty cool, actually, too.
Yes, the weather.
We're going to be pretty cool over the next day or two. In fact, rain and snow picking up tomorrow morning, some light accumulations, and then a hard freeze tomorrow night.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 10. Let's take care of ourselves and each other.